The goal of this tutorial is to save out this value over here, which is the number of lives remaining for our player. And then we'll read that value back in when the scene restarts, so lives will be counting down through each playthrough. And the trick we'll use to do this is called serialization. So serialization takes a snapshot of a class with the current values of all its variables, and then it saves them to a file. And in this tutorial we're going to use an XML serializer, so we'll end up with an XML file that looks like this, which is a nice human readable format. So as you can see, we've got this remaining lives variable which has a value of 16, and then when it's written out to our save data on disk, which is this XML file, that contains remaining lives value of 16 there too. And then when we load up our game, we're going to deserialize from our file our save data here that's on disk, which is a value of 16 for remaining lives, and then load that in to our save data inside our game when we're running, so that remaining lives will start with a value of 16. The first thing we'll do is just create a save data class, which is going to be the thing that we're serializing out as our save data. Next, let's create a class that does the serialization for us, and then we can define a save path. And this save path here uses application.persistentdatapath, which is a handy Unity location that we can keep data in between runs of our game. You'll need to import the system XML serialization namespace and the system.io namespace for the classes that we're about to use. And in our save function, we're going to take in save data as the argument for what we're going to store to disk, which is that class that we just created that's got the remaining lives inside it. We're then going to create an XML serializer and tell it what sort of type we want to save out to disk. And then next we create a file stream, passing in our save path, pushing data into this file stream, then writes that data to the file. And following the creation of these two, we're going to call serialize on our XML serializer, passing in the file stream, and then passing in our save data that we want to save. Finally, we'll just close off the file stream so it knows that we're done writing to it. Just so we can see where we're saving our file to, I'm going to print out the save path when we save our data. The load function is very similar. The differences are, it first checks if any save data exists at the save path already. If it does, we create an XML serializer and a file stream. The difference being is we're going to open the file this time for reading. We then read out our save data, deserializing it into a save data class, close the file stream and return the save data. So that's all the back-end code we need to write. Let's plug it into our game. First, we're going to create our old int for remaining lives into a save data type, which is going to hold the remaining lives inside here. Next, we'll add a member instance of our save data serializer that we've just written. I'm then going to create a function that's going to set up our serializer and save data. And this is first going to just new up our save data serializer and then try and load any save data that's already on disk into this save data object. If this is the first playthrough though and that doesn't exist, we're going to get null back as a save data. And what we'll do in that instance is we'll just new up our save data, set a default value for the remaining lives, and then save that out to disk using our save data serializer. I'll just update these values to point to our save data now. So our remaining lives is now inside our save data class. Then, when an arrow hits the player, we just make sure we save out the latest save data. On start, make sure we set up our save data, so we'll try and load any existing save before we do anything with it. And if you keep running the game, you'll get a decrease in number of lives. It'll also print out where the save data is being saved to each time. And whenever you start the game again, it loads in your save data. So that was a look behind the curtain at save data. It's the same principle if you ever want to store high scores or settings or anything like that. The path to the GitHub repo for this tutorial is in the description if you want to get your hands on that and try and create your own save data. Next in this series, I'll get a little musical and introduce audio into our game. Thanks for watching.